Wow. I've hosted Professor John Vervaeke. He's a psychologist from the University of Toronto, and he always, when he comes to the show, he mentions that we're dealing with a meaning crisis. That the 21st century is like as if we were just walking zombies, trying to find meaning in everything. And now that I listen to you say, the religiosity of the technological movements that we're dealing with, do you see it as a grasp for us trying to get back that meaning in our lives for whatever reason, just even if that meaning comes from being doomer in the sense that AI will conquer our lives? Do you see younger generations and just society as a whole just trying to grasp for whatever huge movement, social movement, whatever movement, to get back to that, that part of our lives that really seeks meaning?
That's interesting. I don't know enough about this. I I doubt. I have a slightly less pessimistic, I think, view. I'm interested in history. I read books written over the centuries, and they seem very familiar to me. I mean, I read Homer, and it's like, yes, I understand. And I read Rabelais, and I say, yes, I understand. So I don't feel out of time. And so I think humans have always searched for meaning. I don't think that's a new experience. And I think we've always been faddish and overly enthusiastic about glossy new things. Um, we had it for tulips, and that's amazing. Now we have it for AI, which is arguably more impressive. So I'm slightly less cynical about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do think that our, and this is what I work on, of course, I'm interested in the evolution of intelligence and what it seeks. And it is true that intelligent systems seek to minimize energy expenditure. And that's why we use calculators. That's why we drive cars. We're not in minimizing energy expenditure in the planet, far from it, but for ourselves. And to the extent that an intelligent system will minimize the amount of cognitive work we have to perform, we will pursue it with alacrity.
Mm.
And it is also true that historically we haven't had access to such mind-like machines as we do now. And so the character of this moment is different. So, in the Industrial Revolution, it would have been steam engines as opposed to manual labor. And now it's algorithms as opposed to mental labor. And given that we place so much store in the unique characteristics of our species as intellectual, then it takes on a new character that I think the philosophers have to reckon with. And I would accept that as new. But I do not accept that we're zombies. I think that people are deeply thoughtful when given the chance. And we are wrestling with the real moment. It's not an artificial construct.